let's talk about something we all do every single day: eat. But have you ever really thought about where that food comes from? Today, we're digging into the incredible story of agriculture. It's all about the soil, the science, and the journey from a tiny seed to your plate. I mean, really think about it. How do we feed 8 billion people? That number is just huge. It's an absolutely staggering challenge, right? And the answer, the thing we do every single day to solve it, is farming. And believe it or not, the answer to that massive question starts right here. It looks like this: a single family on a small plot of land, growing just enough to get by. Not for profit, but for survival. This is what we call subsistence agriculture, and it's really the foundation of everything. You know, even the word itself, agriculture, tells a story. It comes from the Latin iger, for field, and cultura, for cultivation. So, field cultivation. It's a practice that's been evolving for literally thousands of years, always changing, always adapting to meet that one fundamental need: to eat. So this all leads us to the big central question we're going to tackle, which comes right from our source material. Why is the agricultural pattern, the way we farm, so important? And not just for us humans, but for the whole environment. Okay, to start answering that, we have to understand that farming today is basically split down two different paths. At its core, every single farm is designed for one of two things. Is it for family, or is it for sale? And this chart breaks it down perfectly. Look, on one side, you've got subsistence farming. Think small scale, lots of manual labor, and the main goal is simply to feed your family and your community. But then, on the other side, you have commercial farming. This is big business. We're talking large scale, tons of modern tech and machinery, and the goal is to sell what you grow on the open market. They're like two totally different worlds, but both are about growing food. So you can think of this flowchart as our roadmap for this whole discussion. See how it all branches out? From those two main trunks, subsistence and commercial, you get all these different types of farming. Let's follow a few of these paths, shall we? All right, let's dive in. First up, we'll look at some of those subsistence methods, the ways people farm just to put food on their own tables. So within that subsistence category, you've got what's called intensive subsistence. That's all about squeezing every last bit of food you possibly can from a small plot of land. Then you have what are called primitive subsistence methods. Now, this includes things like nomadic herding, where people move around with their animals to find grazing land, and something really interesting called shifting cultivation. Yeah, shifting cultivation, you've probably heard of it as slash and burn agriculture, and it's pretty much what it sounds like. A farmer will clear a patch of forest, burn the vegetation, which creates a nutrient-rich ash that fertilizes the soil, and then they'll farm it for a couple of years. Once the soil is depleted, they move on to a new patch, letting the old one regrow over time. It's a fascinating cycle. Okay, so let's hop over to the other side of our roadmap, the commercial world. Here, the name of the game is scale and specialization. We're talking massive grain farms for things like wheat and maize. We've got mixed farming, which is a smart system of growing crops and raising livestock together. And then you have plantation agriculture. Think huge, huge farms growing just one single crop, like coffee or tea. And this is a great visual for that difference. On the left, that's mixed farming. It's a whole integrated system. But on the right, that's a tea plantation. It's what we call a monoculture, just one crop as far as the eye can see, all designed for maximum efficiency to feed the global market. But of course, no matter what kind of farming you're doing, you're always at the mercy of the climate, right? This chart showing India's crop seasons is a perfect example. You can't just plant whatever, whenever. You've got your rabi crops for the winter, your kharif crops that rely on the monsoon rains, and even a quick little summer season called Zayed. For thousands of years, farming has basically been this intricate dance with the seasons. And for centuries, that dance was pretty much led by Mother Nature. But then, in the middle of the 20th century, we decided to change the tune. A new era began. We call it the Green Revolution. And it's really hard to overstate how big of a deal this was. For a country like India, which was struggling to feed its massive population, this wasn't just a small change. It was a promise of survival. Literally, everything was about to be different. So let's just paint a picture of what things were like. After independence, a whopping 75%, 3/4 of India's entire population depended on farming. But the output was really low, and everything depended on whether the monsoon rains came on time. The whole system was incredibly vulnerable. And this is the key thing to get. The Green Revolution wasn't some slow, natural evolution. No, this was a conscious, deliberate push to turn farming into a modern industrial system. It was about bringing in the heavy hitters, technology, new irrigation techniques, chemical fertilizers, pesticides, all at once. It completely rewrote the rules of how we grow food. And that huge technological leap didn't just end there. It really set the stage for the kind of mind-blowing innovations we're seeing in farming today. We've gone from just tractors to tractors guided by satellites. I mean, a modern farm today is practically a Silicon Valley startup. You've got GPS and drones making sure every single drop of water and fertilizer goes exactly where it needs to. Farmers are using different crops to hedge their bets against pests or market crashes. We have genetically modified seeds like BT cotton designed to boost yields. And farmers have apps that give them instant weather forecasts and market prices. But check out step 5. It's not all about high-tech gadgets and chemicals. That's right. It's kind of funny. One of the most modern practices today is actually about taking a step back from some of that technology. Organic farming is all about getting back to basics, focusing on healthy soil and ditching synthetic chemicals. It's really a direct response to some of the downsides of that big industrial push. And this quote from our source material just nails the dilemma we're in today. On one hand, we've got these incredibly powerful tools, pesticides, genetic modifications, that can seriously boost how much food we grow. But on the other hand, we're becoming more and more aware of the potential adverse effects, as it says here. And that's exactly why practices like organic farming are becoming so popular. So all of this leaves us with the big question, the one that will define the future of food. We've come so far, right, from that single plot of land just trying to feed a family to these massive fields managed by drones and AI. Our farms are definitely smarter than they've ever been. But are they wise enough? Can we find that perfect balance between feeding a growing world and protecting the very planet that makes it all possible? That right there is the great